to, I think they were doing their business in Romania. He basically has like this like cam girl sweatshop set up in their basement where he's got all these women working, and then he just kind of like keeps them strung along that way, like doing camming shit, defrauding them on their taxes and stealing money from them, and then doing that.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Okay, fellas, so we have a good one here today. Just pearly things, discussing the situation on Andrew Tate. Let's get into it.
I'm a fan. I'm a friend. I think he's been sold a bill of goods. We'll see what happens here. The latest news. I saw your episode that you did the other day with
where we covered his how to traffic women guide.
So this whole lover boy method thing was where you can make women fall in love with you, which is not easy to do, by the way. But you make women fall in love with you, and then you coerce them into trafficking. The charges, I guess, against him now are trafficking, potentially doubt that, organizing crime group, and then the easiest ones, well, they'll always get you if they want to get you, are money laundering and tax evasion. That's how they get Capone. That's how they get all these guys, okay? I guess the latest news is he's been detained for an additional 30 days in Romanian prison. I really enjoyed that breakdown you did with the Romanian attorney, basically breaking down the case. You did that, and then Sneeko came on, and I don't know, kind of said his case.
Yeah.
What was that?
What Sneeko was doing to Andrew Tate.
What was Sneeko doing?
Slurping up.
Oh, wow.
So this guy, this blue head guy, I don't know if he identifies as a woman, if he's a Zize, it, I don't know what it is, but he's definitely a weirdo. But let's hear what they gotta say.
All you guys do. You guys suck him off so hard.
No, I've called out Tate on a few things.
Okay, all right.
So there's people in the chat that are like, Adam said one bad thing about Tate, he should go to hell now. It's like, relax, dude. But you interviewed Tate recently. I think you were the last interview of Tate before you went to jail. Okay, so I want to get the panel's basically take on A, what are your thoughts on Tate? Do you think these charges are trumped up? Do you think he's actually going to be seeing real legitimate jail time here? And what will the final outcome be?
So,
you want to go first, ladies?
Well, I don't know all the facts of the case, I'd like to say. So from what I understand, could you explain more about like?
Well, let's let the man who just did a breakdown.
I don't know.
So Andrew Tate is being accused of, essentially, he gets women into this like mind state where they're very much into him, and then I think his goal is to get that woman to a dinner with another woman that works for him. He gets that woman to convince the other woman that is like in love with him to like start camming and doing sex work, and I think he flies them out to, I think they were doing their business in Romania. He basically has like this like cam girl sweatshop set up in their basement where he's got all these women working, and then he just kind of like keeps them strung along that way, like doing camming shit, defrauding them on their taxes and stealing money from them, and then doing that indefinitely. And then there's all.
So basically, what I'm getting from this is that these girls are doing OnlyFans, because here in America, they're all doing OnlyFans. That's basically what I'm getting.
So some of the charges, I think, accused of threats of physical and emotional abuse, I think, as well. And then there was that one threat of, or there was the thing too. But I don't know if that was accused to Andrew or if it just said that was about the 4 people. So it might not have been Andrew himself that was accused of that.
But the whole thing is like, he said all of this on camera loudly and proudly, meaning, here is my business model. As case example, you're a pretty girl. You want to make some money. You're doing OnlyFans. You're doing all types of video chatting things anyway. Okay? Come with me, and you can make $10,000
Wait,
a
wait.
month.
No,
It
yeah, there's
wasn't-
one flaw. He's going for new girls.
Yeah,
not
they
girls who
weren't
are-
girls in the
Okay,
industry.
all right. So he's recruiting. You have existing salespeople, and you have new salespeople. That's how businesses work. I'm just boiling it down to the
can I-
basic.
can I ask
Hear me
a
out.
question?
Hear me out. Where everyone jumps in. You can make $10,000 a month in my business model, but I keep half. Or you can attempt to do it yourself, and you can make $2,000 a month, and you.
Exactly. And that's how most businesses work. And even though this is the cam girl work, it's the same business model. Look at McDonald's, right? McDonald's is the same thing. Constantly they switch the workers. Constantly they have new workers coming in and out. But that's all businesses. All businesses do that.
You can do it, and you keep 100%. Here are your options. And that's the way that he's broken it down on camera multiple times. So he says, I've seen it consistently. Go out and try to do it on your own. You make less money. Come to me, you'll make more, but I'm also going to make some money. And that's how he made his fucking money, and that's his business model.
The video
Whether
wasn't
he was
for-
doing tax evasion, money laundering, coercion, that's another story. But he's been very open of that's what the
No,
business
no.
model
The
was.
business model, he wasn't selling it. Or sorry, you want to talk about it?
No, I just had a question about. So were the girls free to leave the whole time?
That's I think a contentious point. I think there were logs leaked where there was talk of passport holding, and that's where the threat of physical and emotional violence come in. But I would have to see what the actual accusations
And
were
the
about it.
accusations, what did they accuse him of? You said
Human
rape.
trafficking.
No, it was emotional. You said something.
So
else.
there were 4 people that I don't know if there's been a new press release, but the
Okay.
Romanian document announced 4 people. Andrew Tate being one of them. Of those 4 people, one
Tristan
of them
Tate,
was
his
accused
brother.
of rape. There was create a criminal organization. There was sex trafficking, and then there was the money laundering. But I don't think it said specifically who was charged with what. That's my memory of it.
Here's what I'll say.
And
This is totally my opinion. Totally my opinion. Let's say Andrew Tate had 100 girls working for him. Let's just say. And 99 of them were free to leave, all good, do whatever you want, no issues whatsoever. And then there was this one girl who had fucking issues. She threw up in the house and wouldn't clean it up. I think Sneeko brought up this example.
Yeah, that's
right?
what Andrew Tate's friend Sneeko said.
Whatever.
Yes. Okay,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. I'm giving. I wasn't there. I'm not here to clean up the vomit.
This
I'm
guy
just
is
saying,
weird,
I
man.
can see how this slippery slope happens. There's this one girl. 99 of the other girls are fine. They're making their money. Whatever. Again, this is my opinion. This one girl does something wrong, throws up, disrespects, talks shit, whatever it was, and now there's an issue with this one girl. And they're gonna take this issue with this one girl that he held her passport, or he wronged her, or he physically harassed her because this one girl was acting up. So now you want to take this one case and paint this broad brush around this dude that he's just raping and pillaging women galore. And that to me is, I think, unfair.
Okay,
And that's what the media tries to do when they want to destroy somebody. They never point out the other things. You do one thing wrong, and even in everyday life, you look at people who is out there, who has a lot of attention on them. The one wrong thing they do, you make that one mistake, it's gonna be highlighted. It's gonna be shown more than everything else that you've done. That's just how it works, man.
I don't
Wait,
think
but you
that's
have-
what he
you
was
don't even
doing.
know the first of all, we
Again,
already
I
know-
said that is my opinion.
sure. If he's doing what he said he did in his videos, he is a sex trafficker. Full stop.
Like what?
He says that he gets girls to fall in love with him. He says that he brings them to a dinner with another girl that's working for him with the express intent of that girl to convince this girl.
Wait, but did she freely choose to do it?
It-
I just don't. I'm sorry. If I'm bringing,
Exactly.
okay, I'm putting myself in these girls' shoes. I get a boyfriend, right? And the boyfriend convinces me to do cam work. That was my decision.
That's
that
great.
Right.
You
my
think that that's
decision.
cool.
Personal
You can't. There's no possible way an adult can say unless you're being held against your will or being forced against your will. You're choosing to do what you want to do. It's the same thing. A lot of women, they become single mothers because they get pregnant They leave the man, and then they say, I don't need a man. Later on to say that the guy is a deadbeat. You choose to leave. It's the same thing here. It's the same concept. Women choose to do it unless they're forced. And so far, I haven't heard that, anyone was forced to do it. But this guy here, maybe he's an effinist. Maybe he's one of those because he's sounding like one of those extreme women. Let's get into it.
Personal
I just feel
responsibility.
I'm so
That's
tired.
why you think that.
Can you not cut me
It's
off?
sex
Can you
tra-
not cut me off? Like, I'm just tired of we're gonna blame the men for your poor decision. You picked to do it.
That's right.
Exactly.
It's still sex trafficking. Your personal feelings don't matter. It's
By
still
the way,
sex
you're a
trafficking.
European girl living in the former USSR. You have no other job options, and you're hot and you're young.
Sure, or
Boom.
oftentimes
Time to
And
start
then-
doing
and then
sex
they
promotion.
weren't
that
complaining
hasn't-
about the money. They weren't complaining about the money.
But he was actively stealing from her.
Let me explain something. OnlyFans here in the West is a choice. These girls are doing it. They're selling themselves because it's a choice, right? When you go to those countries, Russia, Romania, Ukraine, they really have no other options in most cases. There's no jobs out there for them. So unfortunately, a lot of them turn to doing cam work. And the thing is, what I see here, Tate, okay, instead of you doing it on your own, I can put you on a bigger platform, but you got to give me a cut of that money. That's basically what he's doing. Because in those countries, many of those women, that's what they turn to. Because there's no other jobs out there for them. Let's get into it.
Yeah, he admits
It's not
that. He
actively-
does admit
He
that.
literally said,
Yeah.
when you're filling out these dumb women's tax forms, you can lie to them about the tax forms and take 20-40% off the top. He
That is
literally
where
said
I
that.
think you were right.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
where I think you were
But
right.
even though-
Hear me out.
I was
That
going
is
off-
where I think they will get him.
So I don't know. Right there, it's for me. It's a give or take. So he said, when you're filling these forms out, you can take 20, 30, 40% off the taxes. But did he say he takes the 20, 30% off? So that right there is where I'm like, I'm on the border, because he didn't say that's what he does, but he said that you can do that. These girls are uneducated or whatever, and you can do that. So I'm on the fence about that.
No,
Because-
even hold on, no. Even I think you discovered at that point, even if they willingly chose all the time, it's still sex trafficking. I fly to another country, bring you to a country, you don't speak the language, lock you in a basement, and then tell you like, hey, stream it, I'll cut you.
Not a
That's
lawyer.
sex trafficking.
But for me,
So you see this guy here, like I said, man, he's a weirdo, bro. So now you see how people like this try to paint something into an extreme picture. He's like, oh, I bring you to another country, you don't speak the language, I lock you in the basement. Come on. These women weren't held against their will, as far as I see. They chose to do this. So he's making it out that Tate has dragged these women from another country, brought them to Romania, locked them in the basement, and made them do the work. Nonsense.
definition-wise, maybe you're right.
Okay,
maybe you're
okay.
wrong. I don't know.
That's
That
great.
to me is not sex trafficking.
That's fine.
Because I agree with Pearl. These women knew what they were doing. They knew what they were signing up for. They
Exactly.
were free to leave. He wasn't holding their passports. But if he was skimming money off the top with taxes, that's what they'll
Sure.
get.
So these are the two stages, and I agree that that's what you're going to say, because I know that's what all the Tate fans are going to say. First, they're going to say he didn't do it, and then when they said he did do it, and it's obviously clearly sex trafficking, then it's going to be, oh, okay, well, sure, he's sex trafficking, but it's okay. That's not even like real sex trafficking, or who cares about sex trafficking? They chose to go to an.
Bro, he can't even speak properly. Like he did. This guy has some issues. He has something wrong with him. I don't know what it is. His blue hair. He's just not normal. This is not normal. the way he's speaking, like, you know, like he is aggressively trying to, you know, make Tate guilty. He's aggressively going at it.
The country where they didn't speak the language, he was stealing money from them, and they were locked in for the first time ever doing sex
So
work.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the Romanian legal system. I don't know the definition of that. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend
You don't
I
have
do. I'm
a
sorry.
major
It
Sex
may-
trafficking
Romanian
is
law.
pretty
I
international. It's an international thing, but yeah.
I don't know. I don't study sex trafficking.
Okay.
It's not my area of expertise. But my question is, what is incorrect about that statement? Do you not think the women should take accountability for the choices that they made?
They should, but that's
Exactly.
besides the point.
Yeah, you can take accountability. I'm
Like-
not asking
like-
about what the punishment should be for the women. They probably been punished enough. I imagine if they worked and had money stolen from them. What we're talking about was what Andrew Tate did, which is sex trafficking, right? There are probably women that make bad decisions.
Allegedly,
But I'm saying, why is
allegedly.
it-
That's what he's charged with. That's what
Why
he's
is
charged with.
Allegedly.
it? Why
Let's
is
just
it?
be
Why
clear
is it
about
wrong
that.
if they
It's not
freely chose to do
proven.
it?
Why is it wrong if I get somebody in a relationship with me and then I'm able to flip that into them working as a prostitute for me?
You freely chose to do it. I just think
Exactly.
there's
Like, this
I
guy
couldn't
is
date a single
crazy.
guy that can make me want to do that.
That's great for
I'm-
you, but we're
I'm
not, this
sorry.
isn't about you. This
But
story
I-
isn't
but-
about
but
you,
I'm-
though.
Destiny,
I'm
I
saying-
love how passionate you are and the words you use, but like, we have to be careful. These aren't prostitutes. They're hear me out.
Sex workers.
They're
Sorry.
they're on camera doing cam girl shit.
They're doing
At any point,
OnlyFans.
They can turn off their camera. At any point, they can say, "I don't feel like it today," but they're doing it to make money. This is a job, so they can make money. Now, OnlyFans, hello.
Except they're in another country where they don't speak the language.
What do you
where
mean
they're
they
in
don't
it.
speak the language?
This
They're
is
in
like saying
Europe.
anybody at any time could.
Except they chose to go to that country. They did not, you know, got stuffed in a bag and, you know, dumped in a trunk and then shipped off, not knowing what they were getting into. They chose to get into that. But this guy would never accept that. He will never accept that these women made the conscious decision.
Would buy and sell the right options, the right puts or calls to be a billionaire. That's true. But the hard part is making the picks, right? If you're flown to a whole other fucking country, you've got some dude that you think is your fucking boyfriend that's in love with you, and now you're doing sex work for the first time in your fucking life. You don't speak the language around here. The guy's stealing money from you. Who knows if you even know how to fucking
I'm
book a
sorry,
ticket
unless
out.
these girls are beyond naive. If they
Sure,
see
and that's
99 other
fine.
girls there,
Okay, cool.
they don't think this is my boyfriend and he loves me.
That's great, and
he's
that's
like,
fine.
now I'm a part of a harem.
There's literally a name for the method.
Hold
That's
on.
why it's called the lover boy method. This is exactly
Yes.
what they do. But if you don't care about sex trafficking, that's fine. And a lot of people
No,
apparently
no, no,
now,
no,
but
that-
find out they don't care
Obviously,
about sex trafficking, which is cool.
I'm not
but
saying I
like,
don't
This
care
guy,
about sex
man.
trafficking. Would you say that there's the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking, and then there's the Tate thing, and they're not even fucking close,
Yeah, sure.
right?
Yeah.
What?
Go,
Why?
state your case.
I don't. What's the definition?
Exactly. You
Of sex
see, so this blue head guy, he looks at it as it's the same, and it really isn't. It really isn't. If you guys know about the Epstein case, go back, try to get some information on it. You'll really see what sex trafficking is. But this guy here, he is trying to paint the worst picture.
I don't. I just
Here's
would think
Natalia.
because here's.
There's
I would
three
just.
factors.
This is
I
just. Wait,
agree,
wait, wait.
Pearl.
I would
Well,
just. I would just think that it was that you aren't free to go. That's what I thought. I thought it's only sex trafficking if they're underage or they can't leave. That's what I thought.
No,
You said there's three things?
I believe there is. I watched some legal breakdown. There's got to be physical pressure, physical violence, coercion, and one more.
It's force, fraud, and coercion.
Yeah, fraud
Yes.
and coercion. Yeah.
So
the
fraud is
the
gonna be
fraud is
stealing
the
the
taking the
taxes.
money. The coercion we don't really know about because we don't know what the evidence.
that's
the
all
police
he-
has.
that's
We
all
don't know if he's taking the money.
Right now, but we don't know what
You
evidence
see,
the police has.
so that's the thing. We don't know if he's taking the money. He was just explaining that these girls are so dumb. When you filling out the tax forms, you can take, 20-30% off the taxes. He didn't say I take 20-30% off. So everything right now is all assumptions. It's all assumptions.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think the only reasonable position is to be agnostic until you see what develops in the case.
Yeah.
Here's I think the biggest point here. Tate has become famous for talking that shit on social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and what will make you famous will also
fuck you in the ass.
will fucking put your ass in jail. And that's the problem that he's having right
Correct.
now. I do this is how I make my money. I'm a badass. It's like, yo, this guy's sick. Let me follow this guy. You're going to jail for the exact same reason. That's the problem that he's gonna have.
Going to jail for.
Yeah, what are you talking?
This is such bullshit.
He said
he's going to jail because he's in an Eastern European country that wants to fucking be taken seriously on the world stage, and he's bragging about sex trafficking in the fucking country. That's why he got charged. He's going to
That's
jail.
exactly
Literally my
that's
point.
exactly
Yeah,
what
but
he's
that's not.
saying.
But Andrew Tate isn't known for telling young men how to sex traffic. He's known for challenging the Matrix and challenging the system.
No,
but
he
now
isn't.
people are trying to. People are
That's
trying
not
to.
true.
He's been-
he
he's
has a
been
whole
talking about
course
the-
about that.
yeah.
He might have been talking about it, but that's not why he gained popularity, and that's not why people are saying he's being targeted by Romania or the Western world. People are saying, oh, they're targeting him because he's telling young men
No,
how
the,
to break free of the
the
Matrix
point
and be
he's
independent.
making is the fact that he's bragged about so much
You've
publicly
said
is
it
what's going
so
to
many
bug him,
times.
and that is what's going to.
if you want to know what I think Tate stands for, what I actually think he stands for, it's not. Okay, he talks about the Matrix and the system, and he has very loudly talked about how he makes his money and the cam girls, and he talks about whether he's toxic masculinity, what he's labeled as. What I actually think Tate stands for is just male self-improvement. Getting
Exactly.
in the gym, going to being a badass, making money, and if you make the money, you get the women, you get the Bugattis. But he's talking about becoming a better version of yourself. But nobody wants to talk about that. They want to talk about
Nobody.
being a sex trafficker. They want to talk about him
Exactly.
doing all the.
So, fellas, remember, you are the prize.